All he wanted was to be left alone and live life.
For this job,
Ah!
you had to take me on en masse.
But the blessings of the machine spirits.
Well,
Oh yeah. Ooh, you feel that? Goosebumps, guys. So anyways, guys, let's celebrate Rage.
Friday, June 4th, 2004. An Air Force veteran, settling down in the small town of Granby, Colorado, quickly found himself
Ooh,
at
an
his
AF
breaking
veteran.
point after losing a decade-long legal battle to a powerful family dynasty who took his land and ran his muffler shop out of business. To enact revenge, the welder fortified a bulldozer into a homemade tank and set out to destroy the small town that took everything from him, resulting in a response from the Army National Guard and an Apache helicopter.
you had to take me on en masse. Well,
Apparently they did.
I'm going to take you on by myself.
That is exactly what they
In
did.
1992, an auction was held in the small town of Granby, Colorado, in which a foreclosed 2-acre property was to be sold to individual bidders. And Cody Dochev, a powerful Colorado businessman, saw an opportunity to expand some of his business, with plans to buy and build a state-of-the-art concrete plant for his company, Mountain Park Concrete. But to
So basically, it's the story of the legal version of David and Goliath. He's going up against an influential. See, there's always been this distinction between influential and powerful. I mean, legally, you can be influential but not powerful. That means what? You have money for lawyers and everything. But here in the third world, that interpretation usually leads that, yes, you have the money and you also have the, capability to off people because of your influence, and you won't, suffer for it.
Dochev's surprise, there was another man who had his eye on the foreclosed property. Air Force veteran and Granby newcomer Marvin Heemeyer, who outbid Dochev and secured the 2-acre property for $42,000 to build a muffler shop and expand his welding business. A frustrated Dochev confronted Marv and advised him that the town of Granby doesn't need another car garage, to which Marv advised Dochev that the property was his for $60,000, but Dochev declined his offer and refused to give in to the blue-collar outsider. Marv left the auction.
Oh, okay. So he got it for like $42K, and then he offered to actually sell it for $60. So Heemeyer actually gave these people an out. He actually offered to sell the land for $60K, but I guess he didn't want to spend the difference. I mean, it could have been in the family for like less than $20K more, for like $60K. No need to go through aggravation. I guess he didn't think that, it was worth it. I mean, the ruling family didn't think that it was worth paying him the money to just, simply go away.
With no idea what was to come, the outsider had inadvertently derailed the plans of one of Granby's most prominent and powerful families, and the Dochevs were sure to never let him forget. By the late summer of 1992, Marvin Heemeyer settled in to his new hometown of Granby. He renovated the 2-acre property and built a large warehouse to serve as his body shop. And shortly after, Mountain View Mufflers was officially opened for business. His neighbors at Mountain Park Concrete weren't too pleased, among them Cody Dochev. And in the months to follow, the Dochev secured a loan and offered Marv $250,000 for the 2-acre property. But Marv reportedly raised the price to $375,000 and again to $1 million.
This is business. This is nothing personal. Honestly. You get 5, you sell it for 6 or 7 even. This is business. There was nothing personal about this entire thing. Honestly, like, what? Wait, what's the offer? See, he's willing to play ball. They should have simply negotiated.
And offered Marv $250,000 for the 2-acre property.
Offer was $250.
Marv reportedly raised the price to $370.
He countered with $375. So basically, $125 profit, which is business. They should have countered. They should have offered. They should have haggled.
$5,000 and again to $1 million, further agitating the Dochevs. A few weeks later, Marv received a letter from the town of Granby informing him that his property sewage wasn't up to code. He assumed the problem wouldn't take much work and inquired on how and where to hook
So this is where their influence within the city comes in. They're going to use City Hall to do their dirty work.
up his sewage lines. But to his surprise, the lines were located nearly 500 feet from his property. And with him being responsible for the materials, construction, and months of labor, Marv was shit out of luck with a $100,000 estimate just to connect his sewage. And to add even more red tape, Marv's property didn't even have a maintenance easement. And because the easement would traverse property lines, Marv had to seek the approval of his neighbors over at Mountain Park Concrete.
So this is where they try to close the walls on him. First, they got City Hall to fine him for the sewage stuff, and now he needs an easement. By the way, easement is basically a leeway or where people can cross, because in the country or in the provinces, you guys, there isn't exactly any urban or rural planning. So properties are all jumbled up. So for you to get to property A to property B, you need to actually, you need to actually cross property C. So in order to, and that's what you call an easement. For you to get to property A and B, you need to cross property C. You need an easement for that. So you know what? So the owners of property C won't come out there with a shotgun and says you're trespassing. No, you're an easement. So apparently, to get to his land, he needs a utility easement, and apparently they're going to squeeze him for it. They're not going to let him get an easement. So they literally closed the walls on him. They should have negotiated.
Directly from Gus Harris and Cody Dochev.
The dynasty. Alright, there we go.
Marv went straight to the board of the sewer district, run by another Granby family dynasty, Ron Thompson.
Oh,
Friend of Dochev's
Dochev's Thompsons.
Mayor, Dick Thompson. And like Dochev, Ron Thompson wasn't too keen on outsiders like Marv. Thompson gave him an ultimatum: $90,000 to get his sewage ordeal fixed and up to code, or remain unconnected and face the consequences. Left with no choice, Marv refrained from connecting his sewage with hopes of finding a cheaper alternative in the future. And by November of that year, Marv returned to the sewage board and demanded easement, and settled a deal with Gus Harris to traverse his property at $20,000 per acre. But in the weeks to follow,
wait. Okay, so that's where the easement should have gone in.
To traverse,
he offered this particular neighbor
by November of that year,
$20K,
Marv returned to the
so he can cross. So that's property C that we're talking about. So in order for his trucks or for the sewage line to actually come through,
sewage board,
he offered $20K
and settled a deal
to this particular guy, his land, through his land.
Harris to traverse his property at $20,000 per acre. But in the weeks to follow, Gus Harris ghosted Marv and failed to honor his word, forcing Marv's sewage to remain unconnected for several months. And the months became years.
Okay.
By 1998, the Dochefs decided to move forward with their construction plans of a massive indoor concrete plant. Marv resisted, but wanted to maintain a cordial relationship with the Dochefs, but he was inevitably forced to act, as the Dochefs intended on building in the southwest portion of Marv's property, where Marv had already planned on building a large parking lot for his customers. The Dochefs applied for and received a bizarre location-specific zoning permit that exempts certain plots of land from zoning laws if the purpose of rezoning falls into specific categories. And by the time he figured it all out, Marv was well past the 30-day deadline to appeal the decision. Construction vehicles and operations blocked off the only road to the muffler shop, and Marv began to lose customers. Out of desperation, Marv...
Alright, so they literally squeezed everything from him. First, they denied him the easement, the sewage easement. They denied him that, and now they're denying him access to his actual land.
Marv purchased a Komatsu bulldozer to make his own road for
and that's where it starts.
But he was shut down by Town Hall. And by November of 2000...
That's where it starts. So apparently... Wait, he purchased a Komatsu bulldozer. So here's the thing, right? They blocked off his easement. They blocked off his sewage. He didn't have a sewage easement. Now they've blocked off the roads. So wait, I guess the original thought, or at least the original plan, was he was going to make his own access point. It could have been
make his own road for his customers.
Yeah, see, that was it. He was going to make his own road for his own customers.
But he was shut down by by Town Hall. And by November of 2002, a judgment was made against Marv for failing to connect his sewer line. The court ordered that the muffler shop remain closed, and with the dough chef denying easement, Marv was found in violation and was fined $100 a day until he connected his sewage. On November 17th of 2003, Marv wrote a check for the amount of
See, that was nothing, right? He was being fined $100 every day that he doesn't connect his sewage. But the problem is that the lands beside him, land A, land B, land C, would not grant him the easement for him to connect his sewage line, because that sewage line needs to go through under the lands of B and C. So he was literally boxed in. There was no way for him to go through.
of $3,351, which he addressed to the Cowards and Liars Department after having felt completely violated by the dough chefs and their shady political dealings. He lawyered up and took the town of Granby to court, but failed yet again and was punished for it, as the town turned around and reimposed additional fines of up to $1,000 for leaving abandoned vehicles on the rezoned property, and to add fuel to the
So, no easement, his property was rezoned, he was blocked off on all access. When he tried making his own roads, he was blocked yet again, and the bills are piling up at $100 a day. Yeah.
fire. A local
This is a city hall definitely working against the people.
Granby newspaper wrote an editorial piece speaking poorly of Marv interfering with the dough chef's business, as if Marv was the bad guy. He was now stuck in a situation he had.
Now it's an entire town working against him. I mean, how influential were the dough chefs? Because fine, right? City Hall working against you, trying to take away your land, your livelihood. There are literally laws for that. I mean, there's eminent domain, there's taxation. That's general police power, but an editorial, an actual independent newspaper, if you can call it independent, writing a hit piece against you when you're just trying to survive. So just imagine what's going on in his mind and his psyche.
No way out of. A useless property, zero income, and his property and belongings were auctioned off. His direction and hopes for the future were in his mind stolen. What once was a dream became a nightmare.
He just
truly
wanted to live.
That the town of Granby maliciously conspired against him, because the town of Granby perceived to have conspired against him.
Yeah, he just wanted
And
to
that's
live.
what officials in Granby will never understand, whether or not they had malicious intent. If you carry the tools to break a man and present yourself as the villain, perception is reality.
Well, there was only malicious compliance with it. I mean, they blocked him off on all fronts. I mean, he took it to town hall and everything.
In April of 2004,
No one granted him easement for that sewage line.
in Marv Heemeyer's reality, revenge trumped forgiveness, as he fortified half-inch steel plates insulated with concrete.
And now there is
on the border.
no way out but rage.
I have had a perfect life up until 1999, when I found out what the Thompsons had done to me in 92. And I am not going to take it. And I have to use the resources that I have, the wherewithal that I have, the ability that I have, the knowledge that I have to make this right. I am not walking away from it.
There we
Maybe
go.
I'm being a coward by doing what I'm doing. Because without a doubt, I'm doing what you have done. I'm lying. I'm conspiring.
Well, technically, he's not lying. He's merely conspiring. And yeah, this is the man that's been pushed to the limit.
Keeping things secret.
There we go.
And it's going to happen.
The reason why we're doing Warhammer next week is because one of my favorite memes about Warhammer is because of the Killdozer was featured in one of their memes that, even after a millennia, it still screams of rage.
If I would have been married, had a family, things may have gone different.
All he wanted was to be left alone
But God,
and live life.
for this job,
Ah!
you had to take me on en masse.
But the blessings of the machine spirits!
Well,
Oh yeah! Ooh, you feel that? Goosebumps, guys! There we go! Take down. Wait, is it over? No! There we go!
Good morning, Colorado.
It's great to get started with you.
Good morning,
It won't be
Colorado.
so good for the Thompsons
Updates
and the Doshevs. Yeah!
Luann, can you take us through it chronologically so people get a sense? I know it all started about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Where did he begin? Do you know?
Marv took the dozer straight through the Mountain Park concrete plant. His arch nemesis Cody Dochev tried to stop the onslaught by ramming Marv's KILLDOZER with a wheel tractor scraper, but retreated once Marv opened fire through one of 3 gun ports installed on the KILLDOZER.
But he was an Air Force veteran. He knows what he's doing.
Once the concrete plant was successfully demolished, he moved on to Town Hall.
Everyone's gonna get some! Everyone's gonna get some!
Next, he destroyed the
No
Granby
one gets away
newspaper
clean!
that slandered his name. Police responded to the chaos.
No one gets
and
away
had no
clean!
means
This
to
is a
stop
good
the
man that's
dozer.
been
Their
pushed to the
futile
brink!
attempts
It's
to
been
open
pushed
fire
too far!
pierced the
No
fortified
one
shell,
walks away!
proved useless.
Police couldn't stop the
No
slow-moving
one
bulldozer,
walks away
which was
clean
armored
from
with
something
heavy
like
iron
this.
plates welded in place of windows.
Using cameras installed on the top of the shell,
Holy
Marv
crap,
was able
he
to maneuver
definitely knew what he
and
was
return
doing.
fire toward police. Officer Glenn Trainer of the Granby Police Department rushed the KILLDOZER and climbed atop the shell in an attempt to find an opening, but to his surprise, the entire shell was welded shut as one fixed piece. Marv Heemeyer had no way out and purposefully lowered the shell over himself to commit to his plans, sealing himself inside. Then Colorado State Governor Bill Owens requested the National Guard to dispatch an Apache attack helicopter, as well as troops equipped with Javelin anti-tank missiles.
He is
Okay.
just headed westbound again. This
He
is
reached-
Tate. He is again headed westbound.
At that point, it's safe to say after he bulldozed the newspaper, the plant, and then town hall. So I'm guessing that's how you get 5 stars in real life. So that's 5 stars in real life, guys. Remember, a newspaper, town hall, and a concrete plant that's equals 5 stars. The army comes after you.
Bound into the downtown area. Right there may have taken out a radiator he doesn't stop for.
And while striking a hardware store, the KILLDOZER turtled between the foundation
Oh.
and the basement, leaving the dozer stuck. And after 2 hours of pure carnage, a SWAT team approached the dozer and reported hearing the sound of a single gunshot from within, as Marvin Heemeyer, with no way out and no means to
No, it's not Sun Tzu. What's the name of that Chinese philosopher? I forgot his name. I forgot. Confucius. Was it Confucius who said that? If you're going out for vengeance, first you must dig 2 graves. One for your enemy and the one for yourself. Because in the preceding investigation, it was found that he was not going to walk away from this one. After all of this, he was an Air Force veteran. He's been in court for years. So, and you know what? He ain't exactly a spring chicken. He's a middle-aged man, so he knows how life works, and he knows that if he does this, he is not walking away. So from the beginning, so you know what, that Chinese philosopher thingy. Remember, guys, if you're going out for vengeance, first dig 2 graves.
free the dozer. Took his life.
There was no walking away from that one.
After hours of trial and error, authorities were able to break open the shell using an oxyacetylene cutting torch and recovered Marvin Heemeyer's body at approximately 2 a.m.
Took him that long. I guess they couldn't use the javelin and
KILLDOZER was demoed, and its components were destroyed and dispersed between several junkyards.
I guess they couldn't use those javelins and that anti-tank missiles because it was in the middle of a town, and there was definitely going to be collateral damage if they used something like that.
The rampage caused an estimated $7 million in property damage.
Okay.
Nobody was killed or injured during the incident. Apart
See,
from
if he was willing to play ball from the beginning, right? He got the land for like 40K and he wanted to sell it for 60. If they only played ball, I'm not saying Hemeyer was right. But here's the thing, he was willing to play ball twice, 3 times. They should have just negotiated. He just wanted to make a living off of that land by literally fixing cars, mufflers.
Marvin Hemeyer. Leading up to the incident, Marv gave away all of his financial assets to his friends and family and left various notes behind for
So from the beginning, he knew he wasn't walking away.
his friends.
But you know what, guys? He gained immortality because of this one. We're still talking about him 20 years later.
And his enemies. In the end, it was perceived that Marv was sabotaging Dochev's business plans, and not the other way around. And no matter how you look at it,
And here's the thing, you guys. If you do something like that, if like right now that people have been investigating, have done their due diligence in investigating the entire incident 20 years later, 15 years later, I promise you public perception will not be good. Optics will not be good. It will always turn against optics, public perception, public opinion will always turn against the aggressor. He took the law into his own hands, and guess what? The public didn't know that. There was literally a hit piece written about him by the newspaper before he did all of this. So, yeah, public opinion wasn't with him when he was alive. It's going to get worse after his death, after he did all of that damage.
perception is reality.
We've got to learn how to listen. Well, they definitely listened afterwards. And they definitely heard his message, but you know what? They didn't like his message. Huh!
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. There's a lot more mini documentaries in the works,
Yeah.
and you don't want to miss them. So make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.
Guys, it's Popo Medic, alright? Please check out his channel.